back to my channel. So today's haul is actually part 2 of the Fragrance By anniversary sale. You guys saw I worked with them for part 1, so that went up right as the sale started, so I could tell you guys about it and get you guys the deets as soon as possible. But I actually put in my own order and that came very quickly. I have to say this time around their shipping and handling was insanely fast. I think I got it in maybe like 18 hours. It was insane. So it was great. I'm getting around to filming it now. I have not smelled them. It is crazy how long I've waited. So there are 6. No. Yeah, there's 6 fragrances to get through. I feel like each one of them has its own story of why I picked it up, so you guys will get that background as well. And yeah, without further ado, if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. The only one I've smelled so far is the little sample, and it's Lady Million Fabulous, which I'd never smelled prior. And this has mandarin, pink pepper, tuberose, jasmine, solar notes, ylang ylang, tonka, vanilla, and I think that's it. And it's supposed to be like the floral and solar version of the original. So it seemed like it was up my alley, but I've never owned any Lady Million. I do have one of the 1 millions, but I've never had a Lady Million. So let's rediscover her because it's been a while since I've smelled it and I forget. Right. I remember liking it. Honestly, it's weird that I'm more familiar with the 1 millions, I guess, but I never have gotten any of the Lady Millions, and I probably should. I find that this one is very sweet and it lends itself to being summery, probably because of the white florals and the solar notes, but it's a kind of summery scent that I could see myself wearing all year round. And I was really surprised by how much I liked this sample actually. It has like a really sweet opening of mandarin, like very, very, very sweet. The tuberose and jasmine, again, super sweet. The solar notes just make it it adds a layer of summery, like beachy fragrance vibe to it. Ylang ylang as well, like that's a super beachy floral. Tonka, vanilla, like everything was completely up my alley. I don't smell even like a shred of pink pepper, which works, you know, in my favor. I think it's great. I really, really do like it. I feel also though that I probably have fragrances in my collection that I can't name off the top of my head that are kind of this vibe. I'm not saying that it smells like Wanderlust, but it's in that kind of realm. So do I really need to pick it up? Probably not, but I found myself really surprised by how much I like it. And so it's the kind of thing where it's in the back of my mind. If it shows up discontinued or 1999 shelf kind of fragrance, like I'm gonna know to pick that one up. So yeah, Lady Million Fabulous, totally my kind of scent. Now we're gonna get to the full size, and oh my god, you guys, I was so excited to finally, I just went for it. Like I removed and added this to my cart a million times and I'm like, is this the time? Is it not? Is it? And because there's like that 10% off and you could get a gift and the whole anniversary sale, I'm like, listen, you should get this fragrance that you've always wanted to complete the collection during a sale at Fragrance By. And their anniversary sale is as good a time as any. So I went for it. And that's a Jardin en Méditerranée by Hermes. It is my final Jardin fragrance from the Jardin series from Hermes. And I've mentioned to you guys before, it's my favorite one. It's the one I liked starting off like the most. It's the one I would spray in Sephora time and time again. This is very much not a blind buy. I think there were maybe 1 or 2 from the Jardin series that were blind buys, but in general, I was really familiar with the brand, and I don't know why this always works out the way it did. It worked out because like no fault of my own. It's just a lot of the other ones show up at Marshalls and Winners and stuff for super discounted. This one never did. And so I just picked it up. I finally just picked up a bottle, and they had the 100 mils. Like they only had the 100 mils on Fragrance Buy, and I own 50 and 30 mils usually from this line. So I went for it. It works great because I already know I'm gonna love it, but I haven't sprayed it yet. Here she is. I don't own any Jardin fragrances in this 100 mil. So the notes on this are bergamot, lemon, orange, white oleander, orange blossom, fig leaf, cypress, red cedar, juniper, pistachio, and musk. And we will discover her together because I actually haven't smelled this one in a while, but I remember feeling like this one was my favorite out of the entire range. And now that I have all of them, I can officially work on, at some point, you will see a full series of the Guerlain series video that I've long promised and you guys have long wanted. I can finally do it. I'm just so happy to have this. I really think this is a beautiful one. I have to re-smell all of them and do many wear tests and then really break it down to see if this is truly my favorite now that I have everything. But back in the day, I would spray this without fail every time I went into Sephora for like years. Oh my God, I just love it. It's a very citrus green fragrance, but I feel like the florals in this help to really balance things out. I've never in any one of my fragrances that I recall seen white oleander as a note. So I have no idea what that smells like. I've never smelled white oleander. I just know the movie. But I just love everything about this. This smells so fresh and earthy and green and citrusy, but like in a really dignified and approachable way. And I feel like even if you're not a citrusy green fragrance person, because I'm not necessarily like in love with those scent categories beyond everything else, but you will like this. I just think it's perfect. I really do love it. And I'm so happy I still feel that way. So yeah, that is Jardin en Méditerranée by Hermes. Very happy to finally have a full bottle as part of my collection. All right, now the next one I just have to talk about now. I was gonna save it for last, but I genuinely can't. When you put in an order with Fragrance Buy for their anniversary sale, if you had put in the order within the first 2,000, I believe, you got a gift. And the gift was either like a full size of a variety of fragrances or Hermes that they had, or some duffel bags. And it was just completely randomized. You had no idea. So my order was within the first 2,000 and I was waiting, and I did. At first I was like kind of hoping I would get a duffel bag because the duffel bags actually looked good. They had like a pleather look to them. And I love traveling and I'm like, it would have been perfect. And I kept seeing other people's orders go in, and the fragrance bottles that they got were not things like I was particularly interested in. And I was like, what if it ends up being a fragrance that I already own, which is very plausible, obviously, with how many fragrances I have. I could not believe, you guys, when this was the gift, and it has killed me not to be able to open it. Like, I feel like I got so lucky, knock on wood, with the gift that they sent, because it is a Xerjoff fragrance in the Casamrati line, which I already own 3 in this line, and it's a fragrance I'd never smelled before, and it's Dolce Amalfi. It is the perfumed hair mist, but I don't care. I absolutely don't mind. I wear like hair mists as fragrance all the time, and I'm so excited. You've no idea. This was a really hard one. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. I was actually like checking my order and I'm like, I didn't order this. What's going on? And then I realized it's because this is a gift. So I'm so excited for this one. This has quince cardamom, apple, cloves, tolu balsam, incense, vanilla, tonka, amber, cedar, and musk, and saffron. And honestly, I was really surprised by the notes only because the original fragrance, like not the hair mist, is this really bright yellow, and usually Amalfi fragrances that I've smelled before are like citrusy or beachy, like summery scents, and this seems to be like quite a vanilla amber, like a darker scent, or at least like a warmer scent than I was expecting. So not that that is an issue at all, but let's discover it. Ooh. Okay, I definitely, now I feel like I regret putting it on my sweater. I wish I put it on my skin, so I'm gonna spray some on my skin. Okay, it really has like an almost, I don't know what this would be. I don't know if this is the cloves. It might be actually. It has an almost like vanilla licorice scent to it. I'm thinking it might be cloves, like I might just be confusing the clove, tolu balsam, incense scent with this. But to me, it has like, it's verging on licorice, which is a food I hate, but a smell I really like in fragrances, actually. It's, yeah, and it's sweet, but not sickly. I really like it. I don't think I own like anything in my fragrance collection that smells quite like this, but it feels like it could be a Lolita Lempicka fragrance. Like it has that vibe to it. Maybe because of the vanilla and licorice, and those are two notes that I feel like Lolita Lempicka uses quite often. Yeah, it's like sweet. It has like a really, I don't know if I smell apple, but it has like a brightness to it. It might be the quince. But then there's like a real beautiful, warm, soft vanilla with like spices, but it's not spicy, it's just spiced. I think that's the perfect way to put it. It's like a spiced vanilla that's not spicy. I really like this. I feel like this makes me think of the holidays. Like this might be a nice Thanksgiving scent to wear. Yeah, I really like it. I really, really like this fragrance. I mean, for those of you in the States, like you can wear it on Thanksgiving. Our Thanksgiving in Canada is already over, but like the holiday season, this seems like a really nice fragrance. I'm so, so happy. I love it. And I was really happy, obviously, to get that gift, like I said. Okay. The next one, boy, is there a story about this one. So this, it must be, it's over 10 years ago for sure. I saw this documentary that I've seen maybe 2 or 3 times already, but it was a perfume documentary and I have no idea what it's called. It might be, no, I don't know. And like a good portion of the documentary was following Tommy Hilfiger and his fragrance, company during the creation of this scent. And it was like the women's and men's version of this fragrance. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's funny because I've never really heard about that fragrance. And I remember looking it up a couple times over the years because, like I said, I've watched this documentary 2-3 times. And every time I look it up, I read basically very, very little. And with how much like effort and energy was put in and marketing was put into this fragrance because of this documentary and, then just knowing the whole backstory, I was so like shocked to see how much of a fail it was. Like it truly seems like no one liked it. Everything went to hell basically after they released it, and that it was just like all their market research was a complete failure. And I've never seen it anywhere. And I'm like, okay, this really must suck because I'd never seen it online. I've certainly never seen it in person. Maybe you guys have, but I haven't. long story short, the fragrance is Loud by Tommy Hilfiger. There's Loud for her and Loud for him. And the whole backstory was that they thought it would be very popular with like young people at the time, again, like 10 or so years ago, whenever it was, to make it kind of like CD shaped, and like it's in this is like the packaging. I haven't even opened it, and it's like kind of like in a case, and you have to open. I remember like even their packaging, they went so back and forth. So you have to open this as if you're like cracking into a new CD, and then you just like slide it out like you would with like a CD player, and you're supposed to keep this, but I have no idea. And then the men's, I think, is just black and gray, but like the women's would be like this, and it's like distorted and it looks like music sound waves, whatever. They put so much time and energy into this, and it would be like a rose patchouli scent. Those are like the two notes, and the opening is lychee. So here she is. The reviews on this are abysmal. It was a complete flop, complete failure. So you're probably asking yourself, like, why did I pick it up? I saw that it popped up on Fragrance Buy. I'd never seen it anywhere before, and honestly, I put it in my cart and removed it a couple times, and then I just had to, like, for nostalgic purposes. I mean, look at my like YouTube name. I had to give in. I had to know what this fragrance smelled like. So I'm very nervous because, you know, there are horrible reviews on this, but there are like over a decade of wondering what this smelled like. I need to know. Okay. It's not bad. It's so surprising. It's reminding me of something that I can't quite recall. The patchouli in this is quite, it's a little tart, I would say. Maybe it's the lychee, but yeah, it's kind of like a tart, a sweet and sour, in that it's much more sour than sweet. And some rose. I can definitely get some rose in there, but the rose isn't like, it's not a super rosy fragrance to me. It kind of smells like fruit, like a fruit chuli. Yeah, it smells a bit like a fruit chuli that's a little more youthful, that isn't as, it's not like a very earthy patchouli. It's a little bit, I don't want to say brighter, but maybe more tart. It's definitely reminding me of something. I have no idea what it is. It might not even be another fragrance. But I've smelled this smell before. You know, it's not bad. Like, it's weird to me that something like this was a huge failure, to the point where maybe a lot of you have never even heard or seen it. And then La Vie est Belle by Lancôme was like a bestseller for years and years and years. Not saying that these smell alike at all, but you know, in the world of fruit chulis, like it's just interesting. I don't know if this was like too early for its time, or ahead of its time, I should say, or the performance is just horrible and I'm just not aware, because you know, I've just sprayed it and it's gonna like disappear in 20 minutes. But there's plenty of poor performing fragrances that get the hype. It's weird. I don't know. I mean, bottle-wise, like the whole documentary, I was disagreeing with everything they said. I think they were just completely off, and this isn't a particularly like cool idea. But I don't know. I really don't know why this didn't catch on. It's not my favorite, but it's not horrible either. It's kind of like a very youthful fruit chuli, and honestly, a lot of people aren't like me, and a lot of people like fruit chulis a lot more than I do. And in that case, like, don't let that, you know, keep you from picking it up, because it was very reasonably priced, obviously, since it's not that big of a deal. And I'm sure there's not a whole lot of places selling it, because they probably can't. So if you are interested in like a youthful kind of tart fruit chuli, then Loud for Her is maybe something you want to try out. All right, now the next one is a Guerlain fragrance, and it's always an exciting moment to add another Guerlain to my collection. And this is one that I have wanted forever. It's a classic of the range. It's obviously, I'm getting like a newer formulation of it, but I've just always, it's been one of those where I end up picking something else and I'm like, oh, well, one day I will get Samsara by Guerlain. And I never do, and today was the day. I guess this sale was the sale. I went for it. I was like, I'm already doing the Hermes I've waited so long for. Just go with the Guerlain as well. And I got the Eau de Toilette in the 30 ml. This has a whole lot of notes. It has ylang ylang, peach, bergamot, green notes, lemon, iris, jasmine, orris, narcissus, violet, rose, sandalwood, iris again, vanilla, tonka, and amber and musk. And we will look at her because I think they're just in the B bottle. Like, I just got the B bottle one. Yeah, here it is. It's so tiny. It's so cute. I have no idea what this smells like, and I feel like I'm one of the last people in the world who has no idea what Samsara smells like, even though I love Guerlain, but I just kept putting it off. And honestly, the notes are so like lengthy that I'm having a hard time even guessing. So I have high hopes because everything I've heard says that it's got a powderiness to it, and Guerlain and powdery go hand in hand for me. So, oh, this smells like my great grandmother. Like, I feel like, I don't think she wore this, but this just like really moved me. This is such a nostalgic scent for me. It smells very classic. It smells like a very, very classic scent, but it smells dated in that it smells like it was created a long time ago, but it doesn't smell dated in the way where you feel like, I don't think people would ever wear this now. I know people love, I don't know, like I feel like this is still wearable. This is more wearable to me than Poison by Dior, for example. And that's a way newer fragrance than this is. But I have a really hard time wearing Poison. But this, I love it. It's so, yeah, there's something really nostalgic for me. I don't know if it was my great grandmother, but it like really took me to like my very, very, very early childhood, like toddler time. It is powdery, but it's not what I wouldn't just say like it's a classic powdery scent. It's got a lot of very classic florals in there. Like I feel like I get jasmine and iris, and the iris and orris are probably adding to the powderiness of it, but I don't know, ylang ylang, like there's a very strong floral presence that has a kick to it. And I don't know if I don't know what it would be. Like, I don't know what is bringing that level of, there's definitely like a kick to it that keeps it interesting, but is also what's making it smell dated. And I like it. I really do like it. I feel like this is something that reminds me of like old Hollywood stars. This is something that they would wear and that kind of like everyone would smell like, because it's very feminine and sophisticated, but there's like an underlying softness there. The kick is like what makes it seductive and yeah, and sophisticated, but there is like a softness in its powderiness, and it smells like the kind of thing, honestly, that maybe the more it wears on the skin and it like warms up with your skin, it gets even better. I have no idea how it compares to the Eau de Parfum, so I can't say, but I'm so happy to have that as part of my collection. And then finally, this one was a fragrance I kept putting off. I honestly thought I would never buy. And I saw like smaller bottles for it all the time, and I'm like, never, like it's fine. I have so many more in the collection. I don't need that one. And then this time they were showing up in these large, I have to find out. I will put up how many mils it is because this is insane. This is Blue Sugar by like Aquilina, their whole pink sugar line. This is blue sugar. They had these testers that are actually like refills. Like this is what you're supposed to use to refill your bottles. I think it's 200 ml. I really should, oh, I shouldn't have smelled it. Okay, I definitely did smell it right now, but I totally lost control. I was trying to find, I think it's 200 mils, but they're in these refill bottles, so I have no idea what to do because I just added it to cart. Everyone was adding it to cart. The price was great. It was like way cheaper than what the 100 mils used to be going for. It was on the Door Crasher page. So I just went for it and I'm like, I will get an atomizer at some point somewhere and like just keep using it that way. But another one has been added to my pink sugar collection. At some point I need to do a video on that, but I keep waiting because I'm like, maybe I'll find the last one I'm missing. I think it's sensual sugar, and maybe I'll just do it without it. But here she is. I did just smell it and it smelled great, but we will smell it again. This has mandarin, bergamot, cotton candy, licorice, patchouli, lavender, coriander, star anise tonka, and cedar. And from what I smelled, it smelled very sweet because this is supposed to be a men's cologne, but ooh. Now, obviously I can't spray this one and I don't want to tip it because I feel like it's so full. Oh, there's some on the cap there. Yeah. It smells very sweet. It almost has like a caramel cotton candy. And there is some serious star anise in this and licorice, which I love. It does not smell quintessential masculine at all to me. Maybe it will on the skin, but I don't know. I'm also smelling it out of this huge thing, so it's hard to say. But I really do like it. Like this, you guys know I don't have the best of luck with these pink sugar flankers, and like the OG is the OG. But that one really does smell super sweet and like cotton candy, licorice, caramel vibes, and I'm 100% here for it. So I definitely have to try to find an atomizer for that one to be able to spray it and actually use it. But those were all the fragrances, and let's put them in order. All right, so I did put them in order, but this was very difficult because I felt like 5 of the fragrances were almost equal loves, and there was just like the 6th. So the 6th I would say is Loud by Tommy Hilfiger. Honestly, the more I smell it, the more I like it, and it's totally fine. Like it's totally legitimately fine. And I would 100% wear this. It's not even that strong on the patchouli. I'm just dumbfounded by how unpopular this was. I have to compare it to some more fragrances and see what it's reminding me of, because there's certainly a whole bunch. It's by no means unique, and maybe that's what set it apart, but there's like dupe fragrances that even do better than this. So I don't know why. I do like it, but the other 5 were loves, so it's certainly in 5th place. Or in 6th place, sorry. In 5th place, I put Blue Sugar. I really, like I said, from now onwards, they're all loves. This was very hard. But Blue Sugar, just because, A, practicality-wise, but really more so, because that's my fault, more so because I have so many in this line that I don't, like, it's going to be a little bit less interesting, because part of me putting them in order is like what I'm most excited to wear. And so because of that, I was like, okay, if I love them all, like which ones am I most excited to wear? And this one is the least out of those, just because while it's interesting and a little different take, it is like a flanker of many flankers of a fragrance I'm very familiar with. So with that same logic, in 4th place, I actually put Un Jardin Méditerranée by Hermes, because, and this isn't that it's a flanker, but first of all, I feel like right now isn't prime time for this Jardin series. I will still wear it, but these I love in spring, summer, more so than fall, winter. And like I said, I'm very familiar with the scent. Like, I'm not excited to do long wear tests and figure it out, because I know it. I know it and I love it and I will wear it for that. But since I love them all equally, more or less, I had to put it lower on the list. In 3rd place, very surprisingly, I actually had to put Lady Million Fabulous, while I'm filming this video, I keep catching whiffs of it, and I really like this one. I think it's just because it really encompasses the kind of notes that best work on my skin. Beachy florals, solar notes, sweet florals, those work well on me, and they're fragrances I love, and it's quite a summery fragrance in that way, but it's warm. So I'll definitely be keeping my eye out for that one, and yeah, I really did like it. In second and first place were really hard, but in second place I did pull Dolce Amalfi, nearly in first place, but I really did like this one as well. This was very warm. It was unexpected just because from the name and the color, I thought it was going to be beachy. It's like more spiced and interesting. I'm very, very excited to wear this one and try it out on a day where I'm wearing nothing other than this. And also, I mean, it was such a great gift. And in first place, I put Samsara by Guerlain. I just love this. Like, Guerlain continues and has always seemingly done powdery fragrances very well. They do violet very well. And those are my two favorite things in the world. So of course, trying it out, there were high expectations, but you know, I think it knocked it out of the park. I am interested in reading up to see if the eau de parfum is any different, and you know, if it's any huge difference that, you know, warrants having both. So that was my haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely leave me in the comments below which one of these fragrances you've tried or you'd like to try. Let me know what your gift was if you put in an order. I'm so curious. I hope you got a super good one, and definitely let me know if you've tried Samsara EDT or EDP and whether you like one over the other. So I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.